Tonight on Would I Lie to You? Use your mince pies and see if she lies. It's Natalie Cassidy. He's mischievous, but can he be devious? It's Joly. And their team captain, it's Mack. And facing them tonight, look out, it's the sharply jesting Frankie Boyle, the shrewdly investing Duncan Bannatyne, and their team captain, David Mitchell. But first, please throw off all pretense of restraint for your host, Angus Deayton.
Thank you, good evening, and welcome to Would I Lie to You? Over the next half hour, you'll be hearing more lies than an estate agent working on commission only. One useful tip when spotting a liar is that they often give themselves away by a variety of facial movements, unless, of course, the question you ask them is, have you had Botox? So we begin, perversely, with round one, which is called Home Truths. Our panellists read out a statement about themselves, and their opponents use a combination of potluck and guesswork, thinly disguised as intelligence, to decide if it's true or not. Guess right, they get the point. Guess wrong, the others get the point. What could be easier? Exactly, almost anything. Dom it is, who kicks us off with his first Home Truth. So, Dom.
I was at school with Osama bin Laden.
How old is Osama bin Laden?
I'm sure he's near my age, isn't he? I don't know. I don't think we know.
I mean, how old did he seem at school? I mean...
We were actually at the other ends of school.
Don't say extremes.
No, you're right. It was quite a sort of... It was from sort of 4 to 18, so it could span quite long years.
Right.
Yeah.
What 4 to 18 school is this?
It was a Christian Quaker school.
Right. Is he still a Quaker?
I don't think it sat with him very well.
I'm not aware of his religion. He doesn't sort of, you know, present that. I mean, did you chat much?
I'd pass him in the playground. He was quite an intimidating figure, to be honest. He was slightly intense. He was sort of in the Dungeons and Dragons class. I didn't really know him, but I was in the same school.
Where was this, in London?
No, it was in Lebanon.
Lebanon. That would possibly explain it. How was it at school in Lebanon?
It was OK. I mean, it was only when I sort of got a lot older I realised it was some sort of finishing school for jihadis, basically. I mean, there'd be occasionally an Israeli jet would go over Beirut and the entire playground would look up and start firing in the air. And when I came to school here, I realised that wasn't the sort of normal thing. And...
No.
Did bin Laden win when you played hide and seek?
Always. I never found him.
So, David, I'm going to have to push you for a decision on this.
So it's a 4 to 18-year-old Lebanese Quaker school. A lot of anti-Israeli feeling, as you'd expect from Quakers. I think it's a lie.
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Yep. I think it could be true.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to overrule my team. That's a lie.
It's a lie. They're saying it's a lie. Dom?
It is actually true.
Yes, it's the truth. Dom was at school with Osama bin Laden and still remembers those happy playground games like tag, stuck in the mud, and die, infidel, die. They grew up to have a lot in common, although Dom was slightly better at knowing where to draw the line with his pranks. So it's all eyes on Duncan.
When I ran a large public company, I banned all my staff from buying paper clips.
Why?
Letters came in the post, and I'd be sitting at my desk, letters came with paper clips on them. So I took the paper clip and put them up, and I realised my pile was getting bigger. So why buy paper clips when you get more coming in the post than what you send out?
I think...
Nobody should ever buy a paper clip again in the whole world, ever.
Polite people send the paper clips back to the person that sent them the letter.
Yeah.
They finish using it.
Exactly, so why do you need any more?
How much money do you think you saved?
I saved about £5,000.
Are you trying to convince me that one of the top businessmen in the country at some point sat down with his staff, said, we've got this important letter to send, could be a big contract, could be worth a fortune, let's get it in the post, and someone said, oh, we need a paperclip, and you went, let's just wait.
Yeah. No, no.
Do you reckon there was a moment after you started in the job when everyone was going, I wonder what the new boss will be like? I wonder what the Christmas party will be like this year. Oh, here's a memo. Reuse paper clips. He's a miserable bastard. It seems like Mr. Bannatyne's had the water cooler taken away. We'll have to go outside to the rain barrel.
Have you changed teams?
Was that the only one of these kind of money-saving devices you came up with, or did you have many?
There was a lot of other money-saving devices, but they're all in my autobiography.
Can I be honest with you, Duncan? Absolutely honest with you. I'm getting every other word.
You could try hearing it.
I like that. A bit more diction. Carry on.
Lee, what are you thinking about this?
I have to say, the idea of saving money on paper clips is utterly ridiculous, but the accent is swinging it a little bit. A little bit more possible.
Lee, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to go for true.
Yeah, OK, we think that's true.
Yeah.
OK. Duncan, is you right?
Obviously read my autobiography. It's true.
It's true. It is true that Duncan did ban his staff from ordering paper clips, which appears in autobiography. I don't know if you mentioned that. So, Natalie's fascinating fact is next. Natalie?
I have passed toilet roll under the cubicle wall to Madonna.
Sheet by sheet or a whole roll?
No, about 5 sheets.
Right. Did you specify the number of sheets you wanted?
No, I was so starstruck, I just went like that.
Well, how did you... So you'd recognise her by her
I knew she was in the
voice?
cubicle next to me.
Oh, right.
I knew. See, I was in a club on a Wednesday night.
A club?
It's called China Whites. It's a club where a lot of people go. It's
China Whites ran out of toilet paper in the ladies.
Somebody stole it. Apparently they needed it for their office. They weren't willing to buy their own.
And it was Wednesday night's kind of a big night at China Whites, and Madonna was in there this night. Obviously, I didn't know, but went into the loo and everyone was going, oh, Madonna's there, Madonna's... And I thought, yeah, right, whatever. And then some lady said to me, which I recognised was American, said, excuse me, have you got any loo roll there? And I said, yeah, no problem, did that. Went out, washed my hands, and Madonna walks out.
I just like the fact that during that story, you've been on EastEnders far too long, because you went, everyone was going, Madonna's in there, Madonna's in there. Oh, Madonna's in there, Madonna's in there.
EastEnders she was in, not Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, I think, you know, Madonna's been around the block. You check there's enough loo roll before you sit down, don't you? I think it's a lie.
Got it.
I think it's a lie. What do you
think it's a lie.
Yeah, a lie.
OK. Natalie?
It's a lie.
It is a lie. Right. Madonna never runs out of toilet paper, as she always carries one of her husband's movie scripts in case of emergency. All of which brings us staggering to the end of this opening round, where the stark truth is that Lee's team are already blazing a trail, leading as they do 3-1. The next round has the ring of truth about it, chiefly because that's its name. Momentarily, if I can just use that word incorrectly, I shall read out a fascinating celebrity fact, whereupon the panellists have to second-guess its veracity, and also say whether it's true or not. Lee's team, guess first. Analyse this. Jeffrey Archer writes all of his stories with a felt-tip pen. Is this the truth or the opposite?
Hang on, he wrote a book when he was in prison.
He
So
did.
all we need to know to work out this is true is, can you get felt-tip pens in prison?
Anyone?
Frankie, you'll know this. What can you get in prison?
It depends just how much loving you're prepared to give.
Duncan, you've been in prison.
Have you?
Very short period of time. But
for?
yeah, no, I agree with Frankie.
Never mind agreeing with Frankie. Never mind, you know what? Forget the game, Duncan. Tell us about the murder.
You can get anything in jail. Anything
Really?
you want.
What were you in prison for?
Well, just, you know...
Tell us.
I think it was drunk and disorderly.
You mean think? How drunk were you?
Oh, look at that. Suddenly the dragon tamed, methinks.
What do you mean? It's in the autobiography, haven't you read it?
What's it called?
Anyone can do it.
Well, you say anyone, apart from the 80% of people you tell to sod off.
Anyone can make 100 million. That's in the book. It tells you how to do it.
If everyone makes 100 million, won't that be terribly inflationary?
Yeah. If everyone makes 100 million except you, you're going to be pretty small, aren't you?
Absolutely. But maybe this is something that happened in Italy in the lira days. You know, someone like you published a book, and then suddenly, everyone has got 100 million and they can't buy a coffee.
Lee, I'm going to have to push you for some kind of an answer on this one.
Well,
Jeffrey Archer.
Get Jeffrey Archer on this show. Jeffrey Archer on a show about lying would punch a hole through time.
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't have Jeffrey Archer because he's been in prison. Oh, you haven't.
How did you know he was in prison?
I read his autobiography.
Thank you.
Which was spectacularly poor. OK.
Just out of interest, when you finish having sex, do you say, I'm out?
Yeah.
The worst thing is foreplay, which is I'm in for 40%.
Anyway, Jeffrey.
I think he does.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that. I
Team captain.
think he does as well. Then I think if you're saying he
We're on
does,
a lucky streak.
yeah, let's go for it.
You're saying-
Okay, then we'll say he does.
He does, and the fact is, he does. It's completely true. This is, in fact, true. Jeffrey Archer does write all of his stories with a felt-tip pen. His first job, incidentally, was working for Oxfam, and he still has a unique connection, as they're now the main stockists of his books. David's team. Your quote comes from the great 20th century poet, essayist and raconteur Jody Marsh. Everyone thinks I'm thick, but what they don't know is that I won nearly £6 on a Weakest Link quiz machine.
If I was going to make up a lie like that, I'd reach for the stars and say a tenner. Yeah.
One thing
Yes,
about that
please.
quote which is really sad is I know that I won nearly £6. What's nearly
God.
£6?
What, so
Why did she not
£5?
say £5.40?
Well, actually, but those machines, they don't give they give quids, single quids. So nearly six, the nearest to £6 she's got
Sorry.
is £5. You can't say five. I mean, what, you know, as a businessman, where are your accounts when you start calling £5 nearly six? Suddenly, £5 billion is nearly £6 billion. That's a £1 billion shortfall.
This was the 27th birthday party of one of her friends when she got very, very drunk.
If you had to get someone to answer a question on a quiz machine to save your life, right, would you get Jody Marsh? I would rather that she fell drunkenly onto the quiz machine with her face and chose the answer that way, rather than using a body of knowledge.
Yeah. I'm going to have to press you for an answer, I'm afraid.
So yes.
True or lie?
You think it's true?
Yep, it's true.
You don't care, you just want to murder her.
I think it's false.
Yeah, right. I don't know, but that's the game.
Yes.
I think it's false.
They're saying it's false. It is indeed a lie. Absolutely correct. Well deduced. Jody Marsh did not win £6 on a Weakest Link quiz machine. Jody left school with 11 GCSEs and 3 A-levels. I don't know whose they were, but she left school with them. Despite allegations of being thick, Jody is a very successful glamour model. 36, 24, 32. No one's exactly sure what her IQ is. So at the end of that round, it's Lee's team who are looking quietly smug, ahead as they are, 5-3. Our next round goes by the somewhat truncated title of This Is My. Each of Lee's team will claim to have a genuine connection with tonight's special guest person who we're about to introduce you to. It's up to David's team to weed out the bona fide from the bogus. So please welcome this week's special guest person, Ina. Now, Lee, perhaps you'd like to start off by telling us how you know Ina.
Yes, I know Ina because she's my local newsagent, and she actually sold me a scratch card which I won £2,000 on.
Natalie, what's Ina to you?
Ina's worked on EastEnders for 21 years and as an extra supporting artist, and she used to run the lampshade stall.
And lastly, Dom, what's Ina to you?
Yasu Ina. Ina's actually my aunt, who is Greek, and she is a voice artist in Greece, and she has been the voice of Helen Mirren in the last 4 of her films that have been translated into Greek.
So, it's as simple as that. A winning newsagent, according to Lee, a veteran EastEnders extra, according to Natalie, or Helen Mirren's Greek voice dub, if you believe Dom. So, David.
When did you have this windfall, Lee?
It was about 7 years ago.
So you bought the scratch card.
Yeah.
You know, you scratched the
Well
thing.
done, you know how the poor people live. Carry on, David.
This is like Columbo interviewing.
There's just one thing that's confusing me here.
But no, OK. now I can't say anything remotely investigative, can I? You've essentially created a universal template of mockery. You
David,
arseholes.
that's not helping.
Now, OK, so you bought the scratch card, you scratched the thing off. I won £2,000.
Yes, that was exactly what happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I've never bought one of these things.
OK.
It's a tax on hope. And then you hand it over, and does she then give you the £2,000 out the till? Or is that's a robbery, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
But why have you kept in touch? I mean, she wasn't giving you the money. It comes from Camelot or something, you know.
I mean, I go to my news agent still, and I still give her that friendly wink of, hey, pretty good, eh? And she still goes, lucky, lucky. So the little thing she does.
She's living through you now, really, isn't she?
She is, yes.
What's she going to do if you get diagnosed with a terminal illness? You come in, lucky, lucky, and they say, well, wish you hadn't said that.
I'm more interested in the story with Natalie. So,
Yeah.
She is an extra in EastEnders.
Yes.
And she plays the lady who runs the lamp stall.
Yes.
Does she ever give scripts into the producers which are centred around a lighting crisis?
No. Not that I know of. Who knows?
You haven't investigated the most likely scenario, obviously, which is her being Helen Mirren's Greek voiceover artist.
Voice double. Can you speak Greek, Dom?
No, I can say Efaristo and Yasu, but only from visiting her. She's married to my uncle, basically.
It's very plausible, that, though.
Is it? It seems incredibly unlikely. She does have this slight sort of lack of hope of someone in EastEnders. I think there's a plausibility to that.
OK, so, David, I need to press you for an answer. Is this Lee's lucky newsagent, Natalie's lampshade seller from Albert Square, or Dom's Greek thespian aunt?
You both think Natalie's extra?
I think the savage, browbeaten air of an EastEnders extra hangs among us.
Have you ever heard of a concept called mercy? Right, well, I haven't got a clue, so I'm going to go with the team. I'm going to say it's Natalie's colleague.
OK. Ina, perhaps you'd like to tell us who you really are.
Natalie's my friend, and I've been an extra for 21 years on EastEnders.
Yes, indeed. 21-year-old veteran of EastEnders. Well done to Ina Clare. So a lampshade store might be an odd thing to find in a market, but it's essential to Albert Square, since lamps can be used to electrocute people, smash them over the head, or strangle them with the flex. Sometimes all in the same episode. Telly Tales is the brilliantly alliterative title of our next round. David's team will follow up a clip from a classic TV series with an additional fantastic fact. Lee's team then declare whether the fact is either the truth or complete Piers Morgan. And tonight we bring you the delights of vintage Doctor Who, a show with the same budget as a school nativity play but with slightly lower production values. Well, here's a quick reminder of some of the Doctor's multiple incarnations.
Social call. They will be but more deadly.
We've been asked to point out no Daleks were harmed in the making of that clip, although the actor inside has never walked again. But what is Frankie's extra piece of information, Frankie?
Well, it's a little-known fact, but to avoid confusion on the set of Doctor Who when they're filming it, the medical doctor on set is called the Magician.
So
you think about it, there could be confusion because obviously the Doctor is Tom Baker or whoever. Obviously, it's a much bigger problem on Casualty.
I don't understand the confusion. Someone, an extra, say Ina, who's working on Doctor Who, has a heart attack, and someone shouts, "Is there a doctor here?" And Doctor Who, confused, says yes and does surgery until someone says, "No, no, 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 no." I mean,
Not really a doctor.
I know TV people are like dim, but
If you're the person that's ill, it's going to be quite a depressing thing to hear someone shout. They sort of see what's happened to you and say, fetch the magician. Because that's what we're going to need. Fetch the magician or the priest.
I think it's a superstition. I think that's the answer. It's like, you know, your whistling is supposed to be bad luck, break a leg.
So basically, someone comes
instead
on
of
set,
good
it's like the Macbeth thing or Hamlet thing, whatever, you're not supposed to say it, is it?
Exactly that.
So what happens, you're trying to convince us now, Angus, that someone would walk in and say, so is that the resident doctor? And somebody pops out of a Dalek and goes, oh! I'm being told about the rules and the superstitions. You bloody idiot.
Now I've got to turn around 3 times the spits.
We're not joking.
Lee, could we have your answer?
Yeah, sorry, what do you think that's in summary?
I'm going to say it's false. I think it's false.
Yeah, Dom?
I think it's true now. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it's telly. It doesn't have to make sense, so they probably do.
I'm going to have to overrule you there, Dom, and go for Natalie's decision there and say that it is, in fact...
That is leadership.
Not true.
Frankie? It is a lie. Yep, Frankie was in fact lying. The medical doctor on the set of Doctor Who is not called the magician. There are many traditions that are kept up by actors. For example, break a leg means good luck, the Scottish play means Macbeth, and integral to the plot means getting your tits out to sell more tickets. So, at the end of that round, it's, well, extraordinarily, neither team has the gumption to take a lead, together as they are on 7. And so to our final quickfire round, featuring some more home truths, but this time against the clock. A random flashing light will select one of our panellists, who must then read out a statement about themselves. As ever, the opposing team must then discern whether it be truth or tripe. Starting now. Lee.
I have been on a camping holiday with Darren Brown.
Are you sure he didn't just tell you that? Where did you go, Lee?
We went to the Cotswolds, because we used to be family friends.
And what age were you?
I was 22.
And were other members of your family there?
Oh, in total, there was 4 of my family and about 3 or 4 of his.
And did he put your own tent up?
No, no. Well, that's funny enough. He just did that. I woke up and it was done. I was dressed as Elvis. I was eating an onion. I was livid.
How did you feel about going on a sort of weird dual family camping trip at the age of 22? Shouldn't you have been, you know, clubbing or something in Ibiza?
During the trip, did at any time the 2 families say to you, you boys thought of getting girlfriends?
David, is Lee to be believed or is he not?
I think it's the sort of weird thing that would happen. I think it's probably true.
No, it's
I don't know, it makes it my call. I hate that.
It's all down to you.
I don't think it's true.
OK. Is it true or a lie, Lee?
It's a lie.
Yes. Next. David.
Aged 5, I wrote to Play School to suggest how the BBC should resolve their union conflict.
Can I just say, this needs no discussion.
True.
Yeah, what was the union conflict?
Remember the clock in Play School?
I do, yeah.
And it had sort of things underneath it that would revolve.
Yeah.
And at some point, the things underneath stopped revolving, and apparently this was a result, my parents told me,
Of a union
of some sort of union dispute.
Did you sign off, David, age 5?
I don't really remember. I think I probably put my surname. I was a formal little thing.
So what are your thoughts?
Let's face it, if anyone here did write a letter at 5 to the BBC about unions, my money would be on him, so...
I would say...
True.
Oh, yes, true. True now.
Yeah.
OK, they're saying truth. So
Right,
is it the truth or a lie, David?
It is true.
It is, of course. Yes, it's actually true. David did write to Play School when he was 5 to suggest how the BBC should resolve their union conflict. He was the first 5-year-old to use the word scab when not referring to his knees. Next. Dom.
Ooh. For 6 months, I worked as Trevor McDonald's driver.
Well, how did you get into that?
I was trying to get into the sort of world of news, and that was a way in.
How did that go?
It was very good. I was a producer at ITN for 3 years.
Really?
Till I changed my tack and started dressing as a squirrel.
Being his driver was a stepping stone to being a producer?
No, it was a stepping stone to getting into a corporation like ITN, which I did.
Right.
I can't see them going, oh, we need a new producer. We need to get a new angle on the whole Serbian conflict. Well, I've got a driver.
Can I just say, I didn't go straight from being his driver to being a producer. There was a more sort of formal ladder once I'd got in.
OK. David, what is your final thought about...
What do you think?
It seems to me he's probably telling the truth. It's probably the sort of creepy arse-licking way you can get a job in show business.
No, it's absolute lie.
Here I am again. I think it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yeah.
OK, Dom.
It is.
Divulge the truth.
A lie.
It's a lie.
Thought I had him, man.
Have the details.
Yeah, I had the details.
It's a lie. Dom was never Trevor McDonald's driver. Trevor McDonald, of course, became Britain's first black newsreader in 1973, in much the same way as Natasha Kaplinsky became Britain's first orange newsreader in 1998. Next, Frankie.
I am allergic to coins.
What happens? Why are you allergic?
They got copper in them. All British coins are made of cupro nickel.
Yes.
I'm allergic to copper.
You must occasionally have to deal in money. So do you have special gloves, or what do you do?
No, I just take them, and it makes my hands a bit sore.
What about silver, like 50p pieces? Are they copper?
They're cupro nickel.
What about gold
Is that true?
doublets?
I'd be all right with that. So often I shop in the 14th century.
Lee, what are you veering towards?
I'm veering towards... There's a possibility that this is true, actually.
Yeah, I'm veering towards that as well. Your call.
You're going false?
Yeah.
You're going true? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for false.
You saying it's a lie?
It's true.
You never go.
It's absolutely God's honest truth. Frankie was telling the truth. He is allergic to coins, so he's going to be doubly disappointed when he receives his payment for this show. Next. David.
I fainted in the cinema during Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah. What
Did you
stage
enjoy
of the
it?
film did you faint at?
It was odd. It was the bit where, you know, she's sort of paralysed. And it was when she's sort of trying to drag herself out of this place. But it was the whole... I'm quite squeamish. And
Just
it was
out of
the whole
interest...
desperately being paralysed, trying to drag yourself out of a kind of hospital facility where people might kill you. That really got to me, and things started to
blacked
spin.
out.
David has never... He hasn't seen Kill Bill.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm telling you now, he hasn't gone to the cinema and gone, oh, I'm going to watch Kill Bill.
Yeah.
No way.
I can't imagine any moment in his life where it would make him think, yeah, I'm going to go and see Kill Bill.
Absolutely.
Lee.
Go on, then. It's a lie.
It
They
is
say it's a lie.
a lie.
It is a lie. Well done.
But I have actually seen Kill Bill, and it's interesting that I'm featuring some sort of
really angry.
fusty antiquarian. Oh, he wouldn't go to the cinema. He'll only go and see silent films. No, I have seen Kill Bill. I just managed to remain conscious throughout. The fainting, you could believe. Just going to see Kill Bill. He wouldn't know how to buy a ticket, the love.
I don't know where we got that idea from.
He'd probably try and get a banker's draft.
Which, frankly, irritating noise means at the end of our final round, well, we have no victors whatsoever because both teams are neck and neck on 11. Join us next week for more Truth and Lies, and just remember, according to sociologists, lying is the #1 reason relationships fail. Lying on top of someone else usually being #2. Good night.